4Beerzin.
Here we are on 4Beerzin. We're talking about the worst and best nightclubs. Not just in WA, not just in Sydney, but the world.
What you mentioned Sydney? Are we picking on Sydney clubs?
What is that?
International.
I don't know. Just first thing I thought of. Sydney is quite popular, isn't it?
We've got to stop letting him speak.
But don't take my word for it. I got Joe here on my left.
Hello.
We got Rob here in front of me.
Hey.
And we got the one and only Sean back from Rock Pit.
Hey, you've having me back.
Welcome back.
How have you all been? Yeah, doing good. Yeah, doing great, mate.
Yeah,
it's been a while, but you're doing all right.
It's been a little while.
It is good. You're all looking decidedly younger.
Yeah. So I went for a bit of lipo, and I went to where else did you go? I'm lost with lipo. What's the other? The
Well, he
tanning?
said it was your Botox, but I haven't seen that far down.
Oh, not yet. But if we could turn back time, I might. That's a bad joke.
Well, talking about our New Year's resolutions, we're all trying to, lose a little bit.
Oh, can you remind us what they were?
Yeah. Well, yours was survive in February, and we're past February now, and you're still here.
You survived.
I've lost a leg.
But we might come back to Feb with
Oh,
Joe. But I can definitely tell the difference with me and Rob. We've definitely lost a little, probably.
Thanks, mate. That was a nice compliment right there.
Oh, thanks. Except for Fat Joe.
You're not the shanty man anymore. You're Fat Joe.
I'm not
Well, me
basing.
and you look pretty good.
I'm not basing mine and Rob's weight loss on any scientific facts, just appearance.
And Joe's February fish and chip giants working.
Oh, crazy.
But we, between the four of us, we've all been to a few nightclubs, and we feel that we can give it a bit of a. Are we going to do a star rating, or are we going to do
best
9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, or 1 out of 10?
So maybe we could do 4 beers. Or five beers is top. Well, 10 beers is top. And so from 1 beer to 10 beers, you can rate it. So instead of 5-star or 10-star, you could just say it's about 5 or 6 beers. So worst and best beers. I mean, nightclubs.
Nightclubs.
Oh.
Yeah.
So who wants to start off?
Yeah.
Tumbleweed just rolled across the studio.
I'm going to start, but I'd like to go back and say my international one, but I'll say a local one.
A local, yeah.
Bronson's nightclub. I know this is actually almost before my time. It closed just as I sort of turned old enough to go there. It was up in Joondalup. As you walked in, so this is worse. I would give this minus beers. But your feet would stick to the floor as you walked across, like you'd lose your shoes and stuff. And then there was like people that needed there was 5 of them, and all 5 of them, if you put their teeth together, there was enough teeth to actually have one mouth. Like it was,
Wow.
it was quite a hideous nightclub up in Joondalup. It's now a real estate agency. So yeah. Changed names a few times. I used the G Spot at one point.
Yeah, remember the G Spot?
Yeah. I could never
Been
find
there.
that place.
I used to go to the wrong entrance.
Could never find this.
I could never find the spot, basically.
Still always try and go in the back.
So, but that place, so they got some dental work in and got some,
Yeah, so now,
some good
now it's a real
cleaners
estate.
in. Cleaning service. They could have saved that place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty terrible. So I think there might be a few north of the river, South Geraldton folk that might remember Bronson's. So
Was it safe, folk? Did you go in there and go, I can get a drink, I'm going to be all right?
There was a few shootings and stabbings and stuff from time to time.
Yeah?
But,
Yeah, so it's all right.
yeah.
Was it people you knew then?
No one I knew died. Oh, did I know anybody
Was it a
shot
bit like
someone else?
Cheers, where you walked in and went, all right, because some places you're like, yeah, he's all right, but don't speak to him.
You
or
could just
don't-
do the
don't-
nod.
The nod, yeah. The nod,
hey.
he's...
I looked at no one. I looked at the floor because my shoes kept coming off from the spew on the floor, sticking to
If
the
you nod
shoes.
too much, it looks like you got an awkward tick.
Yeah, you look.
But was it... was it
For
one of those-
everybody who's listening, there's this weird headbang that Sean Bennett's doing right now. Awkward tick.
See, is that just the thing? Because my worst experience for a nightclub, what I can remember is the sticky floor.
Yeah.
But is that era?
Why do you have carpets? There was the way I went, they had carpets, and I didn't understand that.
But was that in the UK?
No, that was
Here?
here in WA. That was
Wow.
in Bunbury.
Ooh, Bunbury.
Yeah.
What- can we mention? We can't mention clubs. We shouldn't say that. Oh, well, I mentioned.
But we can say
They're
international,
done now, Bronson's.
international, and if you're from Sydney, Bunbury
Sydney.
is the
Yeah.
southwest region.
International.
I think everybody knows the club in Bunbury though. There's this one.
That was
club.
Too
like-
many. There's
that
not
was
that
like-
many, is there?
There's not.
There's one
But
night
that was
club
my
after
first
12, I think.
experience of a club here in WA, and I
WA.
just that was it. That
Wow.
put me off it.
What was the best bit about it?
Leaving.
I was just at the exit.
Well, exit, yeah, and I think that's probably why it was called that name.
Yes.
I just realised that's what it's
That's
called.
because they threw everyone out.
But I don't know. It felt like it kind of felt kind of incest kind of type feel, like hillbilly people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was
the
it a
whole
good night though,
two-faced-
or were you? Because you
Only-
wouldn't have had to worry
no.
about that.
No, I had one drink and left.
Well, you think so, but you woke up the next morning and said, I'm not drinking super dry again. It made my bum hurt.
My butt's a bit itchy.
But I don't know. Is it something about the sticky floor, the like carpet? Like, does that
Yeah, I don't know.
sticks out in my head?
Yeah,
man?
like that. That's how I grade my nightclubs. Obviously, If
Probably,
my,
yeah,
If
that's
my
what I'm
feet stick
thinking.
to the
It's
floor,
like,
I'm like,
that's
what
what I'm
club have I
thinking.
come to?
Yeah.
Was the music good though for both your clubs? Like, because if we're rating it on a scale,
Music
you
wasn't
gotta-
bad. I'll be honest.
Music wasn't bad. all right.
Bronson's, yeah.
'Cause that can change the feel.
No, I don't think mine was. It's hard to.
One drink
No.
and it all went misty
Yeah,
and
like-
cloudy and the room started spinning.
I was drinking something that I should have been drinking. Yeah, and it was.
And the other thing was, did you go alone or did you go with a partner or did you go with
No,
friends?
there was a group of us. There
Group of you, yeah.
probably
yeah.
was probably about 6 of us. I think from memory, there was about 6 of us.
Okay, so there were
And
6 of
all
you that
felt-
said, let's
we
go.
all felt the same.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
what was the toilets like? I know that sounds
No,
really strange to ask
didn't
that.
go, too
But
scared.
in Bronson's,
I was
Too
too scared.
well, in
I was
Bronson's,
too
the
scared.
toilet bowls were smashed and the cubicle
Oh,
walls were broken
no.
off, and so there was no toilets.
No, we
there was just holes in the
we
floor.
had made a pact not to leave each other. It felt like
That's bad, isn't
it
it?
felt like someone would. You'd say the wrong thing or look at the wrong person like
Yeah.
the wrong way, and they would
Oh,
attack
that's
you.
not good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
remember being in Ginlap talking about toilets. I won't say what place, but I remember walking in after a couple of beers and I just walked to the toilet and did a wee in the toilet as you normally do,
Yep.
and then I flushed it. And then when I turned around, there was a staff with gloves, and there's a lot of people there. What I didn't realize was that toilet was blocked, and what I weed upon was a full toilet. So when I flushed it, it just flushed all over the bathroom.
Oh,
So all the floor was wet. But
Dookies
you know,
everywhere.
you got to go. So I just left really, and this
This is a
person looked
great
at me with their
podcast.
gloves
It's
like he was,
disgusting.
I think they were just about to go in there and unblock the toilet, and I obviously walked in and you know, but that didn't make that place worse. I don't think.
probably actually cleaned the floor.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst.
Maybe
It
not
didn't
for, I
make
was
it
going to
worse.
say
know
maybe
what?
not for you, but
I still had a good
for the person
time.
that came in after you.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
like-
Anyone that needed a toilet after.
I think I know that place. That was the place in the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, we can't say names, but I know. I think anybody listening right now has gone to Joondalup knows that.
would have gone to that
Yeah,
place.
Knows that place. All right, sure, mate.
Well, my best and worst is the same place, actually. So many years ago in my hometown in Deal in Kent in the UK, we had the nightclub in the town that, well, we had 2. One was called The Deck, and it had the worst advert ever because the advert on the radio was The Deck, the king of clubs, which was really corny. But then everyone went to this other one called Albies. Everyone went there. The whole of the town would go. And it was fantastic. And they closed the night with Chesney Hawkes's I Am the One and Only every Saturday. That was the closing song. But everyone went. It was never any trouble. There was a bit of trouble, but it was always, everyone knew everyone. I went back in March. Hadn't been back to the UK for 12 years. Had my mate's 50th. Oh, let's go to the nightclub. He said, yeah, come on. But at the front of the nightclub was a bar. And then they'd open the nightclub and you go through into the nightclub.
yeah.
So we all went to the bar, packed, really busy. Bumped into the bouncer. It was the same bouncer from 12 years ago. They're no different, sticky floors.
Don't change.
I've gone to go through the door into the nightclub and the bouncer's gone, no. And I'm like, what? And I've opened it. It's a creche. The nightclub had turned into a giant Jungle Gym's kiddie centre. And I'm like, so there's no nightclub anymore? He went, nah.
Was that at the
this is it.
Albie? Or-
Albies would shut, but the front bar was still open, and that was
Wow.
it. That was all that was left of the club.
The club.
What about the deck, or for our
The deck had gone. That had
Yeah.
gone long ago. The king of clubs.
or for our New Zealand listeners, the deck?
I knew. You started smiling as soon as Sean said that. I knew it was.
God, he was waiting for that, wasn't he?
You set him
We
up.
love
there,
you,
Sean.
Kiwis, and we will get a New Zealander on the show.
Well, we've had one, haven't we?
Have we?
Yeah. Isn't.
No, we know people from New Zealand.
How many?
But we haven't had one on the show.
This Michael Lloyd's beer is very strong.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
It's
Just to
very
let you know,
nice.
Kiwis are not short in quantity in Australia, so we will get one on the show. Don't worry. They're not. You know.
Talking international. Since the last episode when I came in a few weeks back, have you gained on your one French listener? Is there many more?
Surely there's 5 by now.
It's gotta
Which
be.
is cinq.
Yeah,
in
word
French.
gets around, doesn't it?
Bonjour, cinq listeneurs de France.
Yeah.
Parlez-vous
Word gets around.
I'll tell you the most overrated nightclub in Essex. Do you remember the Only Way is Essex? There was that club called the Sugar Hut.
I know the show, but I never watched it.
It was like a club they all went to called the Sugar Hut. And
Yeah?
I think it was the Sugar Hut. Went there and there was nothing wrong with it. Like, there was no incest
wasn't
going on.
big.
There was no sticky
There's no
tiles.
incest going on.
It was none of that. It just
4Beerzin
but,
approval.
Like, the fact that it was like on TV and everyone made a big deal about it. It was just full of twats, really. Like, to be honest with you, all these people glammed up and going there, and it was
Only Ways Essex, mate.
Yeah.
They say that. eh? But I did that. I went to Newcastle and I was like, okay, tell me where, let's go. Is it the Lytton Tree, or am I making that up? Where the Geordie Shore, I even asked a bloke in this big shopping centre in Newcastle. It's a shopping centre, but it's massive. But just for everyone else out there in the world, if you have the same shop twice, does not count as 2 shops. Just anyone out there in Newcastle or anyone in every shopping centre, you got the same shop twice, that's 1 shop,
Yep.
just on different levels.
It's like Rebel Sport
It's the
when you
same,
walk
yeah,
in.
it's the
exactly.
same shop. Don't
same
count
shop.
it as 2 or however. So, but I think I was in a shop and I said to the guy, so I was like, oh yeah, Geordie Shore, and he's like, oh yeah, we're not all into that, but I said, but do you see YI? And that's really bad accent, but he goes, YI, he did that. Anyway, I was out in
does that mean?
Newcastle.
Oh, aye.
didn't
Hey,
sound Geordie.
Just all right. It does not sound Geordie at all. But I was out in Newcastle, said, yeah, let's go where Geordie Shore is, but I never made it.
What happened?
Good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went home. I went home. There you go.
for the conclusion.
No, I got in a taxi. I had to go home because I had a few too many. And the taxi driver said something, which was, you're going to hear this, you go, that's diabolical. He said, if Ryan Giggs, right, played for, big shout out Ryan Giggs, wherever you are.
Maybe come on the show.
Yeah, you can come on the show. If he played for England instead of Wales, would be bigger than Beckham. I know what you're thinking. You see him red.
I don't know who he is.
And
Is
if,
it really bad?
and
really?
if Ryan Giggs, if Ryan
God.
Giggs would like to bring his brother's wife in,
I was going to go.
pair of them.
Ah, no, I was
the
thinking
pair of them are
that.
welcome. I
Poor
always get
Giggsy.
There's a story
Giggsy.
there. I don't
I
know
mean,
what we're talking about.
To me, I'm like, Giggsy made a choice. He could have played for Wales or England. He played for Wales. I should cross the bear.
and he played away.
Yeah.
That was his. I
but
always
don't
get
bring Bex into it.
I always get muddled up with the Welsh and the Geordie accent. That I always find that
yeah,
very
yeah,
similar.
Yeah, it gets.
They got their own lingo, don't they? Anyway. But that's what we should do this year. This year,
Especially
we
when
can bring
they
on
have
a
a few beers
Geordie.
in.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
I know what you
Shout
say.
out there
Bring
somewhere.
on a
This
Welsh.
year we could bring on a Geordie and a Welsh and try and
Geordie,
get people
Welsh,
to
Kiwi.
decide which
All
one's
at the
Welsh.
same
Yeah,
time.
okay.
We may know a person, but anyway.
We,
They might start off one and transform.
yeah. We could send a message out there right now. We could go, we want a Geordie, Welsh, Kiwi.
I don't have enough microphones.
We're going to need subtitles.
Just one of those jokes like Englishman, Irishman, Scotsman.
Yeah. Welsh. What's it? Geordie, Kiwi.
Scouse.
Yeah, I know. I'm not bilingual in all those languages, but I'm pretty sure.
There isn't the same language. You've got.
I didn't realise how much of a budget you guys have got on this show. That's a hell of a load of studio guests.
All sponsored by Lloydie's beer.
Yeah.
Cheers,
We could
Lloydie.
bring them all. But my nightclub, I guess, is like the only one that I remember being really like it wasn't too bad. I was down in Albany.
Oh,
And there's some great pubs in Albany, and there's a nightclub there. And we'd stopped the locals and said, "Oh, what's the nightclub like?" And they said, "Oh, it's a shithole." And we went, oh. I go, are you going? They went, yeah.
Really
We
proud.
know, yeah, like, yeah, we'll be there. 'Cause I didn't think there was anywhere else to go. And Albany's a fantastic place to go for our international listeners. If you come to WA,
It's beautiful.
go down to Albany. Yep. And but we went to the nightclub.
Sold it. I've never been.
I know, sold
I'm
it.
going now.
It's
Thank you.
lovely. 50 minutes away, there's a nice town called Denmark, place called Denmark.
Beautiful town.
Big
Lovely,
shout out.
Yeah, so.
Big shout out to hashtag Perth is okay.
What's up in Albany?
We went into this club, and because everyone in town was going there, and it was okay. It was just like a one room thing, and it wasn't as bad. So sometimes
a one room thing.
well, you know, a nightclub's like one big room or separate rooms they might have,
Yeah.
separate areas.
Well, like toilets.
You have to.
This one, you just had a bucket.
Yeah, we
in
call
the
it
corner.
This is great.
Oh, it's occupied. This someone's back. I can see.
People coming on holiday. I heard there's about 4 rooms, but it was fine. The music was great. I think you got what you got. You know, you take the good things because you can go into a club and go, "Oh, this isn't great," but for another person, it could be the best night of their life.
So what you're saying is all those clubs out there.
That's not my worst one, really. It's just it got voted one of the worst in. Yeah,
For being one room?
but that's someone's opinion.
From supplying
The
buckets.
worst in one-room nightclubs in Australia. I can just imagine you walking down the street and there's a big sign saying "A shithole," and it actually is the name of the place. Bloke's going, actually, it's a really good club, but it's just called A shithole.
And name it before someone else names it.
I mean, it's not the first thing I look
You
for in
can't
a
go wrong,
nightclub.
can you?
It's a great name for a club. The
Yeah.
shithole.
Yeah,
Sure.
there we go.
We're thinking of a club called 4Beerzin.
4Beerzin Club.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And a pub,
it.
4Beers in.
For,
The 4Beers in.
You've thought about this. You have thought about this.
That's
Oh
clever,
my God.
clever marketing. Your marketing division been working hard.
He's on it.
Yeah.
He's so on it.
We got a lot of
Sponsored
plans
by
on this
Lordy's
show.
Beer.
A lot of plans on this show. Look out. But one of the clubs, going back, one of the clubs I always remember is in Liverpool when there's a sign and it said 90s dance music, and it was like, I think £3 for like a Corona and a Jaeger bomb sold. But I think someone must have been the head or something must have been in the way because I didn't realize it was 90s dance music. Nothing wrong with that?
And it was called The Flares.
No,
Well,
that was a different
this
place.
is the thing though, like what you're saying, like best nightclubs, like
Being tricked.
it depends on what you like. Like
What you've taken. I mean, what you...
it depends on what you're taking and how many rooms there is.
Yeah,
Like,
expectations.
yeah, it's just each to their own, isn't it? Like
You know,
Expectations.
I think if you go in a club and like toilet doors are missing, there's no toilet roll.
No toilet.
Um,
it's just
there's
a hole.
no toilet
Yeah.
as a whole.
I
Oh, well,
think
that's
that-
a different type of.
No,
Now
there
you
was
put
a
all
toilet.
the-
It was smashed,
but
and
now-
there was a
Oh,
friend
I'm
there.
thinking of Glory
A
Hole
friend
again.
looking up at you. Oh, glory hole.
Sorry,
That's a whole nother show.
that's a whole other club.
That's a whole nother club.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
But you know, it's your expectations, isn't it? If you go in there and you think, "Oh, this is lovely," you know, you have a great time. You got positive thinking, is what I'm saying.
Didn't you? Is that the same club you were talking about off air? How you said you felt like a piece of meat, you were getting grabbed a bit.
Yeah, someone definitely grabbed my ass.
And so you're in a club called The Flares. They
No,
were
I don't-
paying
I don't
crazy
mind.
music,
I don't
and your
mind,
ass got
but-
grabbed.
I had a Corona, a Jaeger bomb, and an ass grab. Some people might not think
That's
that's
a good
great
night
out.
night. Yeah, I
And you
can't complain.
And you
I'm not
only
complaining.
paid. You only paid £3. Is that right?
Yeah, it was something cheap. Yeah, it was cheap
Nice,
at the
man.
time. This is going back a few years though.
There you
That
go.
reminds me of a club I was at in '94. It was Wanneroo British Soccer Club. Got a Jaeger in the dressing room, a cheeky grab, and you got to play football. Fantastic.
Yeah, I wasn't complaining. But
maybe
you
we
know
get-
what? We're gonna wrap it up.
Maybe out there, people could message in and say what their worst nightclub is or best nightclub
Yeah.
experience.
Worst
Actually,
nightclub.
or can they recommend a good or bad club in Perth that we can visit and then talk about?
Oh,
Now,
I like.
We
how
can
you're
all Sean, you up
thinking.
for a visit to a club?
Very
I think
but
that's a good
I
idea.
can only do one-room nightclubs. That's all. I get lost.
If there's two,
So I
I'm
get lost.
yeah, I'm
I
lost,
might
yeah.
need a GPS.
Where's the map?
But if you heard it here first, then
You heard it here
What
first.
they heard? What they heard? What have they heard?
what have they heard? If you haven't heard it first here, you've never heard it. Probably. But Aqua are coming to Perth,
Yes.
Perth, West Australia.
Yeah.
And Yeah, we can't wait to go. We're going to be
checking it
there.
out. We're
We're
checking
going to
I'm
be
not.
there.
Sorry, you guys are. I'm just going to
We're
put my
there.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
me and Joe are going to be there.
Sean, you go?
We're
Well,
going to get out
the
there.
Rock Pit are going to cut. No.
Who's supporting? Who's supporting Aqua?
I think E17.
E17.
Yeah. So remember,
Stay now.
Stay another day.
Stay another day.
Stay now. Yeah.
You did sing.
I did just one. I remembered
Yeah, they
last
got
time.
other tracks, don't they? They got
We
some
told you
other
in the
big
last
one.
episode.
Go
please,
now.
no more singing.
Go now. That's what you said to me.
Oh, every time you sing, it's 2 words.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure. Do you
Go
remember that?
now.
They had that
Get
big
out.
one, didn't they? Remember? All right.
Yeah,
Everything's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
So
Was
we're
that
gonna.
Matt-
I'm
Wasn't
in
that
a
Matchbox?
room full of
That's
crazy
Matchbox
people.
That was definitely Matchbox 20.
But we will be there, and Aqua, if you want to come on the show, or E17, like I said, don't worry, we'll message you first, and yeah, it'd be great to have you on the show. So let's wrap this up. So another 4 beers in. Thanks again,
Thanks
Sean,
again.
for coming
Thanks,
on the
Sean.
show.
Thanks for having me.
4
4 beers
beers
in.